Let's share screen. And let's
record.
Disable. Okay. Here we go.
Record.
So many channels.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to do something.
Record.
I'm going to allow you to unmute yourself if you have a question or comment. Let's start sharing again. Screen. And all right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to remind you, if you can get to iStation, you are expected to complete the May iStation. That's not necessarily for me, that's for the school and their records for next year for the 4th grade teachers. Let's let Wyatt in here. Wyatt, welcome. I hope you're keeping up on The Little Prince. This chapters today has a new character, the flower character, and she's hilarious. She's not got a very good personality, and she's very funny. Plus, she thinks she's more powerful than a tiger. So read through these questions. Make sure some of these just require a little one-word answer or two-word answers. So keep up with that. If there's something you don't understand, this right here, Lit Charts, has a summary of every chapter, not just chapter 1. Plus, it gives little insights about the theme of the book, because the book is a fantasy, but it really says a lot about friendship. It says how you should treat the world that you live on, how you should think about the things that are around you. And it's a really kind of tricky story because it seems just like a fantasy, but it's really about how people should be according to the author. So please feel free to ask questions and to look at that lit chart so that you can understand what you're reading. I included a video today about the California Gold Rush. It's around a 4-minute video, cartoon video, about the importance of the gold rush and everything that happened about it. Plus, this is the last editing task for the week. And going up here, we read this column yesterday, so go ahead and unmute, and let's read through the last row. Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Scar.
Scar.
Scatter.
Scatter.
Shiver.
Shiver.
Signal.
Signal.
Similar.
Similar.
Lumber.
Slumber.
Solution.
Solution.
Star.
Star.
Stumble.
Stumble.
Tackle.
Tackle.
Tentacle.
Tentacle.
Typical.
Typical.
Oh, listen how that sounds together. That's a typical tentacle. I like that. I like to tackle a typical tentacle. Unite.
Unite.
Unusual.
Unusual.
Valuable.
Valuable.
Vehicle.
Vehicle.
Volunteer.
Volunteer.
Okay, so these 75 words, again, you're going to be using them. And when you use them, make sure that you're using these punctuation marks. Of course, daily on the sentence writing, you're going to be using some of these punctuation marks all the time. So make sure you try out the colon, the parentheses, underlining. You can't put things in italics unless you type them. And you can put things in bold writing, but it's usually better done on a keyboard. Use the apostrophe, quotation marks, etc. So you're looking to practice with the words. And again, knowing how to spell a word, knowing the meaning of it, both are important. The most important is, can you use it in a sentence? Can you make sense of it with your speaking and with your writing?
My printer turned on.
On nonfiction and fiction, I would like you to have something to say about your book if you have something to share about that. But right here, let's see. Let's go down to the 6 traits of writing. Who would like to explain in your own words what sentence fluency means? Sentence fluency, this one right here. Unmute and tell us all about it. Be willing to.
Me? Can I share my name?
Go ahead, Mila.
It's a screen share one.
So what are we doing?
No, we're sharing right now. What do you think sentence fluency is?
Sentence fluency is where a sentence flows well and it is easy to read.
Yeah, the thing about it though is if sentence fluency does not mean that all the sentences are the same. In fact, it means the exact opposite. You want to make sure it's kind of like fluid. The word fluid and the word flow come from the same root word. The flow of a river. You're going down the river and the flow is there and you're going along, but everything on the sides is different as you flow along. The
Garrett, you want to get out of my room?
easy to read, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's not all the same. You don't want your sentences to all be the same. You don't want them to start all with the same word, like I.
You can
A
go.
lot of students like to start every sentence with I or you.
I
Or
eat bugs. I'm just kidding.
who else would like to share about, let's pick voice. What does voice mean? Who would like to share about that? What does voice mean as a trait of great writing?
It doesn't sound like lifeless. Like it sounds like something maybe exciting. Like sounds like you.
And that was Arjun, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Was that Arjun?
Yeah.
Okay, how did I know it was Arjun?
That's his voice.
Because of his voice. So when you hear somebody's voice, you know it's them. And if I read a Roald Dahl book, no matter what book it is, I might not know who the author is, but as soon as I start reading it, I'll recognize that it's Roald Dahl. The same is true of all great authors. You can recognize their voice. It's like they're speaking in your head. And when you hear somebody's voice, you know it's them because you recognize it. And the same goes with reading their writing. It should reflect who you are. So that's a little bit about sentence fluency and voice. Make sure as you're writing your narrative, and again, I would love people to share their narrative. I included this on the daily assignment today. I don't want you to stress out about the persuasive and information piece. You can actually work on something that you've done before, earlier in the year. I want you to have ready in a little portfolio of writing something for your 4th grade teacher. One is the narrative story that you're writing right now, but one persuasive piece, which means you're sharing an opinion with reasons, and it can just be one paragraph. Don't worry about making it long. Worry about making as good as you can make it. Your good writing. And information piece is either explaining what something is, explaining how it works, or explaining how to do something. And that again can just be one paragraph. So I would like 3 different pieces to share with your 4th grade teachers next year in the gifted program at Ridgecrest, or if you're going somewhere else, we can actually put work inside of your cumulative folder, which travels with you if you change a school. So I just like to have that as evidence for what you have done this year and where your writing is. So the narrative story you're working on now, one persuasive paragraph, you can do 2 or 3 if you want to. One information piece, again, you can do 2 or 3 if you want to, and have that ready by the end of this online school year so I have it ready to share. Upton, did you have a question, or are you just waving your hand?
No, I need to share. Can I share my narrative story?
Yeah, hold on to it just for a minute. You'll be first to share, okay?
Okay.
Let me go through the rest of this.
Why did I nod at that?
The gifted thinking skills, this one's not that hard, but I warned you that this one is very hard. If you just can't figure it out, don't knock yourself out. Don't stress out about it. But I bet some of you can figure this out. It's a really tough one. It's a math logical problem. And it's really beyond a 3rd grade level, but I put it there just to see if someone could solve it. So give it a whirl, see if you can figure it out. It seems easy, but when you read it, it's like, what? How many of you guessed 40 for the triangles?
I got 38.
You're close. But
I got 28.
I got 38.
there
Same,
are
Ryan.
40 triangles in there. First of all, you got 4 times 4 is 16. But then you got a triangle here. You got a triangle here. You got a triangle here. You got
Yeah, I know what
got
I
a
missed.
big triangle right here. But there's a total of 40 of them. Anybody?
What?
I knew that.
I got 38.
That's close.
I got
Randomly turn on.
Yeah. Only
because
I've seen this riddle before.
Yeah, some of the riddles that I borrowed from the internet and from sources I have, are pretty old ones. You can look up this one, see the solution to it. This is a pretty common one, this triangle stick, because it's harder than you think, because you have to really think about where all the triangles are. And every time I look at it, I find a new one. But I didn't guess 40. I didn't get it right. I didn't. I tried it and I think I had 38 also. So when I saw the solution though, I was like, oh, I missed 2. Okay, this is a little overview of ancient Mesopotamia. It's 4 minutes long. Why do you think these civilizations are so important? Now this one right here is Tour Guide Docent. The last week of online school, including next Thursday and Friday, that's all Zoom is going to be. All Zoom is going to be is you controlling the lesson. You are going to be the tour guide. I won't be teaching anything new at all. We will be listening to your presentation. So the last week of school, that's all it's going to be. So have your Zoom ready. I'm sorry, have your tour guide ready, and it can be a PowerPoint, a Prezi, a slideshow, whatever you want it to be. And since you'll have the ability to share whatever you have on your laptop when you do the screen share, you can show a video, a short video, and anything you want to that takes us on a journey to where you want us to go.
Mr.
So we
Bagby.
did it on Word.
Mr. Bagby.
Yes?
I have never mind. I thought the presentation was today, so
No,
pulled out the
it's not due until, in fact, it's next Thursday, Friday. If anybody's ready, they can share. But the last week, that's all we're going to do is the presentations. And make sure you keep them, you could do at least 3. Don't go beyond 5, so practice it, because we can't have you go on for 15 minutes because we only have 40 minutes of Zoom time. But 40 minutes for the last 5 days is enough to have our
Share.
magical geography around the world. Explain. What was your favorite? These are magical geographic sites. They're amazing. So take a look at that. Quizzes is basic geography. Now, I don't know, I think I've shared this one before, but not for family fun. You don't have to ask every one of these people. You can just pick one, what their favorite memory of elementary school is. And mine was, I think I told you this one already. Sometimes I forget. I was on safety patrol in 6th grade, and we would, in elementary schools, used to go up to 6th grade. Then you went to junior high for 7th, 8th, and 9th. So in 6th grade, I was on safety patrol, and we would roll up all our winter gloves into a big ball, into a big glove ball. And we would literally play football in the halls until the teachers chased us out. You know, kind of like when you see the safety patrol people at school, they're always congregated together until the teachers make them separated. Have you ever noticed that? Yeah. So we were the same way. We would play around in the hall and we would actually tackle each other. How we survived, I don't know. But we tackle football in the halls of a school, and yes, with hard floors, not carpeted floors. Ancient Babylon laid the foundation for Western mathematics and astronomy. So that's what makes them so important. All right, I'm going to stop the share now, and I guess we'll start with Upton. Upton, you're up to share your narrative story.
It's disabled.
I will undisable it. You ready? Let's see. One participant. Okay. Hold on a second. Advanced sharing option. There you go. Okay, Upton, you can share now. By the way, thank you for not drawing on the screen. I really appreciate that. Nobody drew on the screen today. Good job.
Is it shared?
Yeah, we see something.
Okay.
Upton started screen sharing. We see it.
Once upon a time, there was a family. Their names were Daniel. Their dad, Sophia, was graduating from high school. Jackson was 4 years old. and Kristen, their mom. They wanted to go to the theme park. They started driving. After 30 minutes, they were there. The first thing they saw was a chicken crossing the road. They walked into the entrance. Jackson was so surprised how big it was and all the rides.
Wait a second.
He
How big
loved
the
it.
chicken was?
What?
Okay, go on.
Kristen said, guys, we are going on a little ride for Jackson. Jackson and Daniel stayed at the benches the whole time while Kristen and Sophia go on all the big rides. Sophia loved every ride, but her favorite was the Superman. It was so fast, you couldn't even see where you were going. On the last ride, Sophia and Kristen said half of the ride's down. Let's get some food and a drink.
All right, so I'm there with you at the theme park. A few things. I was interested that you saw a chicken crossing the road because, you know, that's a classic joke. Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side. So I was kind of curious why the chicken would be right there, because I thought maybe you were going to say something about it. I think you need some punctuation there to separate some of your sentences out, but it really has enough detail. I'm there at the amusement park, and now I want to hear about some of the adventures there. Anybody else have a comment for Upton? Go ahead.
I do.
Wait, I do have a comment.
I do.
Go.
So I think that, so you know how some of it is misspelled, like say, like
Yeah.
said at the bottom and saw.
Mm-hmm.
You do know how to spell saw and said and all that, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I was just saying that you might want to
little
fix it.
those are little editing things that he can fix in the final copy.
Okay.
I was going so fast.
No, Upton, you can put that into your Word document and it should come up and tell you some of the misspellings, and you can fix those. What I'm more interested in is getting the story going to the point where something really, you know, out of the blue happens or something really exciting happens. So I'm looking forward to where you're taking it. Anybody else have a comment for Upton? Two people said they had a comment, only one shared.
I did.
Bagby, I thought I saw your hand up.
No, I was itching my head.
Okay. Like this?
Yeah, I guess.
You know, when they all told us to stop touching our faces because of the virus, did you realize how much you touched your face? I have to force myself not to touch my face during Zoom meetings.
That's
called logic.
Yeah.
I washed my face though. I
Yeah.
washed my
Called logic.
Who else wants to share their narrative?
I haven't.
Me.
I don't. I'll share mine tomorrow.
Go ahead, Max.
me.
Did you say,
Yeah, Max is sharing.
can I go after him?
Yes.
Wait 1 second, please. I need to get the other part.
Lag is real.
Okay. Front of my book, the title is The Launch of America. Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I thought I was muted. Let me mute myself.
Okay, go ahead, Max.
Introduction. Hi, I am Max Mitzloff. I am preparing for one of America's most risk-taking launch.
The rocket's name is Falcon 9, launched from Pad 39A in Florida. It has been 9 years since America has launched American astronauts, and I am one of them. Right now, I'm lifting a 80-pound weight. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All astronauts report to the office now, boomed the speaker. It's time for the big event, yelled Max. Max raced to the office, and he was told to get in the van, so he did as he was told to. He drove all 3 of his buddies to the launch site. Then they started pre-launch. At pre-launch, the astronauts suited up and went up the tower by elevator. We are giving you a live shot of the astronauts going up the elevator. And a live shot of the astronauts suiting up. So I'm going along with, let's see, who's that? Wendy Lawrence, I believe. And that's a different new version of me. We're going to put the helmet on you, said the person that suits up the astronauts. Sounds good, I said. Then we went into the elevator, and the elevator took us up to the bridge that leads to the capsule. That's all I have right now.
All right. Well, I'm excited. You're not gonna, where are you going to, Max? Where are you taking this spaceship?
To the ISS. This is actually a real event, but I'm not going up in the Falcon 9.
Okay, let me put it this way, Max. You're not going up yet, because I think anybody in this classroom knows you're passionate about space, and none of us will be surprised if you end up being a world-famous astronaut. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's true.
All right, somebody held up a story in front of the screen before. I think it was Viga.
You said I could go next.
We'll let Mila go next, but I just remember a story being held up to the screen.
Yeah, that's Vegas.
Okay, make sure you share yours, and if you hold it up still,
Bless myself.
Okay, Mila, go ahead.
Okay, this is a story called The Dragon's Jewel. The dragon flew, the wind on the beast's black scales. It was looking for something good to eat. An hour later, the dragon found a flock of sheep. It grabbed 2 sheep. A few hours later, the dragon came to a cave. When the dragon landed, something happened. Scales and claws disappeared. The wings and sharp teeth were gone. Flame stayed deep in the throat. The dragon had transformed into a human. It felt nice to fly. At least now I have something to eat, said the dragon that had turned into a human. The girl transformed back into a dragon after lunch. She flew and flew and flew. There was a huge tower. She stopped. There were other dragons there. There was a loud roar that everybody there could understand. Call off the scouts. Tell them to come in, the dragon said. Scouts, report. The dragon said, nothing. We have not found the dragon jewel, and if the humans crack it, we will all die, the dragon said in loud roars. Everybody murmured. Where could it be? They said. Dragons also said things like, what if it breaks and we all die? And what if the myth about us dying when the jewel cracks is just a myth and nothing will happen?
Wow.
Some whispered in agreement. Strong-looking dragon stood up. We should find the jewel because we have been guarding it for years. It is a half-dragon treasure. Some shouted things like, why did we not just put a spell on it so those greedy mortals could not take it? And we should not curse items sacred to us. We will get it back.
Well, I am ready for what happens next, that's for sure. And I have to point out something to you, Mila.
All right, I'll put his pit.
Here's the thing that amazed me. Because this just keep it up there for a second. This amazed me because this is not a 3rd grade level idea. Look at this idea, folks. The dragons also said things like, what if it breaks and we all die? And here's the thing. What if the myth about us dying when the jewel cracks is just a myth? And nothing will happen. That's very impressive. That's very impressive. You came up with that on your own, huh? Mila?
Yeah.
She just got
That's
kicked
a
out.
really great idea there.
Lag.
All right, let's have Viga. Thank you very much, Mila. Does anybody else, because we're running out of time here. Viga, could you put
Viga.
your story up?
Okay. Hi, I'm Allie. One day, my parents surprised me with a new skateboard. I already had one, but I couldn't do many tricks. I learned a lot of tricks, but couldn't do many. When they told me I was getting one, I was so excited. We hopped into the car to go set off to go pick it up. The place was very far. It took us over an hour to get there. My mom was sleeping and so was my brother. I could not sleep because I was so excited. We got the skateboard and it was epic. After that, we went to the beach to test out my skills. So I went on a high ramp. I was scared at first. I was scared at first, but I still went for it. Crashed. I fell pretty hard and I was crying. We rushed to the hospital. The doctor said it was a minor fracture and I was pretty sad. And I still need to do more.
That's some exciting stuff. Could you hold it up to me?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I
Oh,
almost-
a little closer. Wait a second. The screen switched on me. Here you go. I love the handwriting there. It's very clear.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
All right. Anybody have comments for Viga?
No.
No, I think it
do.
was good though.
Go ahead.
So maybe she should try adding like maybe where is the fracture?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'm not
Or
gonna.
things like what does a skateboard look like? Or do you have like skating pads on, a helmet, all
Did I
that
already
stuff?
say that? Didn't I already say that?
I don't think
No, the skateboard was a Galaxy skateboard.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you said
I
that.
missed that part.
I tried riding it. Skateboards came out like in the late 50s and then into the 60s. I tried once and fell right on my. I never did it again. I don't have a good sense of balance.
This is
I
a
can ride a
base.
bike, but not a skateboard.
It's actually based on a real story about me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I already have a skateboard, but it actually fell in the sewer.
The sewer?
Yeah, my other friend's skateboard tipped it over and it went in the drain.
Ugh. Did you get it out?
No.
Wait, is it the white and blue one with flowers?
Yeah.
Oh my god, please skateboarder.
And I'm getting that because I'm getting a new one.
I need a longboard just to like roll on it. I don't even like skateboarding. I just roll on
I
it.
like to do my
Flat
trick.
on my belly and
I
roll
don't know
on.
how to ride my skateboard. I know how to ride it. I know how to do tricks. I don't know how to do a lot of.
I have great balance.
Hey, I got a question. Wasn't Damien in here?
Yeah.
Wait, yeah.
Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really ride skateboards. I'm more of an
Adrian
actual
doesn't want to
skater
give me
that
games,
uses
I guess.
rollerblades and
I
bikes.
use
Yeah.
rollerblades. I use
Rollerblades are way cooler.
Is
Oh,
there
I'm a
anybody else that would
biker.
like to share their story because we're running out of time?
I suck
a-
at ice skating.
I'm also a biker.
But oh my
Chloe,
god,
you want to share?
Wait, I have one. This is based on a real life thing.
Chloe's sharing.
Darn.
I think so. Are you sharing, Chloe?
I'm not screen sharing. There's actually like a little paper I printed out.
Okay, go ahead.
It's always boring during a pandemic when you're just shut down. And you have nothing to do, right? Well, one time I had.
Speak up, Chloe.
Well, one time I had the weirdest experience ever when I was being shut up in a pandemic, aka the coronavirus. I think SARS. I don't remember that, but anyways, it all started when I just wanted to play some Roblox, and I was working on my London thing too. So this London thing's in Roblox. Sorry, it's just all the interruptions. And then Sky, my friend Sky, next door neighbor, knocked on my door, and then she said that we could play Roblox together. that we could play Roblox together, but not exactly go into my house. So this is like when the really weird things started. So we're gonna play Adopt Me. I just scammed someone for a Griffin. So me and Sky were going to get a bee, and all of a sudden this person comes up, and then they're like, ABC the trust trade, and me and Sky walked away like it was just one of those regular old scammers, like every time I go play Adopt Me. And then when we were in the coffee cup, aka the place where you get the bees, she was just following us, and she's like, oh my, hey, don't you want to trust trade with me? And we're like, no, please, we're busy trying to get bees. So then me and Sky were betting on who's gonna get the queen bee. And then she comes up again. She screams at us in all caps, why don't you want to trust trade? It's like the urge to scam people like that. So then we get our bees, and then she sends us a trade request, and we're like, fine, we're gonna trust trade you. And then me and Sky trust trade with her, and then we gave her bees. We gave her our bees. We only got common bees, unfortunately, and then we didn't. Oh gosh.
Hey, Chloe, I'm going to stop you there because we're running out of time, but I need you to make sure that when you do your story that you write everything down, because when you write it, you won't be able to be there to add stuff.
Yeah, the font is just too small for me.
Because right now it sounds more like storytelling, which is cool, but I really need it in writing so we can all see it and all read it together. I'm going to say one more thing here that I saw last night.
I've been liking beans.
Okay, I saw this last night, and it's all about the COVID virus, and they were on Nova on PBS, and they were talking about how that scientists around the world are feverishly trying to find a solution or a vaccine for the virus. Here's the cool part. They are turning the data over to anybody around the world that does gaming. The gamers are actually configuring the little molecules of data about the COVID, and they're actually trying to come up with a way to make the RNA for the vaccine more structurally sound. And I thought that was amazing, that video gamers, now I have to tell you this, and please listen carefully, my field of education has been poo-pooing video games forever, saying, these video games, they're gonna be the end of everything. They're not gonna be, kids are not gonna be able to think anymore. It was nonsense. The video games have become a way of producing data. And as you know, they're very engaging. So I thought that was a really cool thing. If you want to Google that, just put in gamers are helping to solve the COVID vaccine. And you will see that people that play video games are actually contributing to some